Has your mum ever told you not to eat with your mouth open? Not only was she saying that because it's bad manners, because you're gonna get crumbs on the floor, because it sounds disgusting, but it's also the principle of life. The reason why a lot of us are struggling to grow is because sometimes opportunities come onto our plate, and instead of just eating the food that is in front of us, instead of just consuming what is in front of us, indulging in and looking in, we end up spending our time actually telling other people about the opportunities that have come our way. Some of those opportunities weren't for other people to even hear or to even know about. They were just to see the result, but you've now just let them in at the wrong part. And I understand, because I'm also a victim of it at times, where something good can come your way, something that can maybe even change the trajectory of your life, even in the slightest way. And then we tend to hit up our friends, hit up our close ones and tell them about the opportunity. Now, I'm not saying to gatekeep everything. I'm not saying not to put your friends on. I'm not saying to fully lock off and be in a dark corner. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is certain things that just don't need to be said. Certain people are not qualified to hear what you have going on. You have to realize that you are a valuable individual, that your time and your efforts and what you're doing is precious. Wherefore, you cannot be distributing everything that comes your way to every single person. The principle of eating with your mouth shut is so that you can digest the opportunity that has come your way, so that you can fully indulge and lock in and really hone in on that opportunity that is going to set you free, that is going to set you in a better direction, that's going to help you and your life and your family and those in your bloodline and whoever around you. Because the problem with always feeding everyone, the problem that comes with trying to involve everyone in what you're doing, and trying to feed everyone, and trying to watch what other people are doing, and trying to essentially just telling everyone about your business, is that you're going to be left hungry. After the food has already come to you, you're going to be left starving. You've now just it's practically self-sabotage, to be honest. So if you want to grow, the first thing that you need to do is to stop telling everyone about the opportunities that have come your way, because some people are just meant to see the result. How do you differentiate those people who are meant to see it and from who are meant to hear it at the beginning? That's for you to decide. That's for you to really do an audit of your friends and see who is worthy of hearing and knowing and seeing certain things in the beginning stage versus those who will see it at the end, or maybe just later on down the line. That's for you to do. A lot of people have envy. A lot of people will talk bad behind your back because they know that you're actually doing well, because they're low-key jealous of you. Some people will start to put bad things on your ear, in your ear. You no longer can concentrate. You've told them a vision, but they no longer see it. You've told them a vision, but they don't see the same thing as you. You telling other people about your opportunities and what's come your way, you're expecting to have them understand why it's happened, how it's going to happen, and what's the result going to be. That's what you're expecting. That's what a lot of you are expecting. But then when you start hearing negative things behind your back because you're doing well, it's only just because you basically sabotaged your own self. You sabotaged your own progress. So stop eating with your mouth open. This is an issue that I have within myself, and sometimes it's hard to control, sometimes it's easy to control, but sometimes you just can't help it. But you actually can. And that is learning to live skin. Basically learning how to save, learning how to manage your money, learning how much you're willing to spend. Our problem with us young people is that once money comes into the bank account, it goes out at the same time. In fact, it hasn't even marinated on your phone. You haven't even been able to process it. And there's already an email receipt in your inbox. You're already in the car heading to go to this supermarket, ready to go to this mall, ready to go to this place and that place. Learn to simply save if you want to grow. And this is not just an advice for, this is just not advice for you, but it's also for myself. Learn how to save, learn how to audit your money, learn how to steward your money, learn how to actually realize that you worked hard to get this. If it's honest money, you worked hard to get this. So why are you just easily throwing it away onto things that you don't actually need? The problem is a lot of us end up spending things that we don't actually need. We need to learn how to differentiate from the things that we want and the things that we need. Because if you look around your room, if you look around your life, to be honest, there's a lot of things that you don't actually need. but in the moment it seems like you need it. And a practice that you can do is simply just wait a day. Just simply wait a day. Okay, you might be in the mall and you see something and you might want it right there and then. But generally, if you're with people, take a step back, look at the piece of item, think about where you are in life, and actually understand, is this thing does it need to actually be purchased right now? Do you actually need it? And I'll give an example. I was going to buy a car on my birthday. I fully met the guy, we've been talking, I've gone around the car, me and my family have gone up there, we're inspecting the car works fine, it looks good, it drives well. Everything was completely fine. But then my dad actually asked me, what car are you getting? I said, I'm getting this. He said, why are you waiting so long? Why did you wait so long to just get that old piece of car? Because obviously people say like your first time car needs to be a little banger or whatever. It wasn't a banger, but your first time car isn't gonna be something extraordinary, right? He said, why are you waiting? Why did you wait this long to get that? And the reason why I wanted it is because my birthday was coming up. And he started to give me advice, and he started to ask me, he started to talk to me, he started talking to me. And essentially, I didn't actually end up buying the vehicle. I did the whole test drive and I ended up not buying the vehicle. Why? And that's because I realized that this is an absolute want. I don't need that vehicle. Currently, right now, I work from home. I'm not commuting every single day. I'm not going out every single day. I'm at my house. For those in the UK, you know that insurance is crazy for first-time drivers. Insurance is crazy. And it just didn't make sense for me to purchase a vehicle, to have it sitting outside and paying these massive monthly payments for something that I'm not going to be able to utilize to its maximum, essentially. Something that I didn't really need. And it was hard. Like, I was saying that I want a car for my birthday. Like, this is the vehicle. I was doing so many registration checks. I was doing everything. I was paying prices to even see the conditions of the car, the underlying problems. I was doing it all. And I realized that I don't actually need to set myself back for something that I don't actually need in the moment. Why are we chasing liability? A lot of us are chasing liability. Things are going down in price. So I'd literally advise you, do not end up rushing to get things that are a liability. Do not end up rushing to get things that you don't actually need. Of course, treat yourself here and there when it's necessary. But if you want to grow, and this is for your finances right now, but if you want to grow your finances, the first thing is just learning how to manage your money and decide whether you need something or you want something. That's literally it. And I promise you, it can save you. The advice doesn't sound crazy. And this is the thing. People are expecting to hear all these gargantuan pieces of advice and you're expecting to hear something exquisitely special. But sometimes it's the simple pieces of advice that can actually take you far. When you actually dilute and actually understand the simple things. What is it actually trying to say? Because there's no point trying to get that or trying to search for this special piece of advice where you can't even take the simple advice. Because for some of you, this may not even be complex. For some of you, this is just a simple little thing. But sometimes you need to hear the simple things because you can't even manage the simple things. Because some of these things I'm saying, but I'm not even doing it. And I'm trying to practice and actually master it. And the same thing for you guys. Sometimes you need to hear the simple things. Because the bigger pieces of advice, you're not even going to succeed at it. Because you can't even succeed at the simple ones. So right now we're going to keep the advice kind of simple, but this is for you to actually decide whether you want to actually grow. Another way to grow it is being disciplined. It's being able to set up systems that can actually allow you to become more efficiently disciplined. We hear the term discipline is difficult, it creates sacrifices, it creates all of these problems. It sounds like something that is absolutely negative, but really and truly, like, discipline doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be bad. All you have to do is create systems so that when you want to become disciplined, it's easier to become disciplined, to the point where discipline no longer feels like a strain on you. And how I advise you doing this is just simply audit your day. You know, what time are you going to wake up? Okay, you're gonna wake up at maybe 7 o'clock. You're gonna end up going for a walk at 7:20. You know, you're gonna end up going for a walk at 7:20. You're gonna end up doing things at a certain time. You're gonna go to the gym at a certain time. You have systems in place. If you just say you're gonna go to the gym every single day, like, okay, that's cool and all, but like, what's the plan? You know, what's the plan? How are you gonna go to the gym? What time are you gonna go to the gym? What are you going to train at the gym? You know, you need to have a plan. You need to have a system in place so that it's easier for you to stay disciplined. You know, you have a lot of sugary things around you. You have a lot of sweets. Okay, cool. But you just don't buy them, so that when you are craving those things in your home or something like that, they're not accessible to you because you've stopped doing certain things. You've created that system where if you want to get a sweet, you don't have to go to the shop. You're putting resistance on it. You just have to create systems that allow you to be efficiently disciplined, because you don't want to see discipline as something that is going to be a sacrifice. Well, essentially it's going to be a sacrifice, but you don't want it to be a thing where it's like, I gotta be disciplined. I gotta lock in, I gotta focus. You've aligned your life, you've created systems so that your discipline can be a lot more efficient and effective. So start to create systems whilst you're trying to grow your discipline in order to grow. And this links in with taking small steps. That's why even in the previous example, I just said, going on a simple walk, because someone could be like, okay, cool, first thing in the morning, you need to go to the gym. Right? You need to go to the gym. You're asking for a lot in some people's eyes. You need to go for the gym. And that's why I said start taking simple, small steps. Going for a walk, just being able to just learn how to get up on time and actually go outside and actually show up outside and go for your walk to clear your mind, clear your mental mind. Are you able to even simply wake up and go for a walk? Because if you can't simply wake up and go for a walk, how are you going to wake up and go to the gym? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to learn how to take simple, small steps in order to grow. Stop looking at the bigger picture all the time and start to look at the finer details. You know, take it bit by bit. You know, okay, cool. You want to start this business. Okay, instead of thinking about the service of the business, how are you going to, you know, think about the branding. Start with the branding, then start with how you're gonna get the customers, then think about like the service and X, Y, and Z. Think of it like that. Like, just break it down. You know, just break it down into miniature small things. Give yourself little daily tasks that will allow you to grow. Set yourself little a checklist of things to do each day. You have things called the structured app. You can literally the night before, go into the structured app, lay out what you want to complete in the next day and see if you can follow through that. And then slowly start to change it. Maybe you start adding on tasks that are more time consuming. Okay, cool, that means you don't have to start waking up earlier. So then you start stretching it, and that's how you grow. Don't just jump to the bigger picture when you can't take a small step. That's essentially how you could grow. This is probably the biggest thing, but you see this device? This device is holding a lot of us trapped. I mean, look at your screen time. I'm not gonna lie to you, yesterday when I checked my screen time, I don't know how it was even possible, but my screen time, it was 20 hours. It was 20 whole hours. Now, don't come for me, because my screen time is usually 7 to 8 hours, maybe 10 on a like a weekend or something, but yesterday it was 20. And this is why it impressed me to make this video, not to make this video, but to put this as a point in the video. You're not going to grow if you're going to constantly consume things that are on this phone. You're going to lose so much. You're going to lose a massive touch of reality where you think that people's level 10s are their level 1s. Like, you cannot compare somebody's level 10 to your level 1. All you see is people living this crazy lifestyle. It's looking lavish, it's looking like the dream, it's looking like what you want. And then once you come out of the apps and turn your phone off, you're thinking, bro, like, this is not, my life is nothing like that, you know. And the truth is that their life isn't usually like that on a day-to-day basis. Some might be, but A lot of them, their life isn't like that on a day-to-day basis, but because you're consuming that on a day-to-day basis, you think that's their day-to-day basis. So you don't even know how to snap out of it. Like, you're not gonna watch videos of people that are down and on their come up. Like, you're not really watching come up videos. You're watching people that have already made it, and you start to lose the sense of reality. You start to think that the things that you're doing do not work. You're starting to think that your efforts don't mean anything. You're starting to think that this is oversaturated or that's oversaturated. You can't try this because so-and-so has already done it. You've lost the touch of reality because all these things can work. You just think that you're so small enough that you cannot become bigger. You just essentially, you just think that you cannot become that person anymore because your touch of reality is so far out. Like, it's terrible. And you just have to learn to reduce your screen time, actually live life through the real world, and stop living life through your phone. Like, sometimes it actually drives me mad when I'm even seeing my screen time on certain days, because I could have a productive day but my screen time is still high, right? Whether that means I'm on phone calls or whatever it is. But when I look at my screen time sometimes, I literally say to myself, I don't want to live my life through my phone. I want to actually have a life of memories, a life of purpose, a life of freedom, a life of genuine meaning. A lot of us are living our lives through our phone, and you need to start getting out there and start creating your own life. You need to learn to start making systems that can allow you to grow. And using these simple steps that I've given, I promise you, you can start to see a difference. So, yes, it was a simple video. Yes, I was giving advice. It's just up to you if you want to take it. So, stop living your life through your phone. Do not open your mouth while you're eating. Learn how to save your money better and start creating systems, if I said that already, but start taking small steps as well. And that's how you will grow, and that's a wrap.